what is the discrepancy between the 29 million and then the over $300 million appraisal that the city received?
If you look at the $300 million appraisal, it's for something that frankly the city does not own, which is fee simple, unencumbered land. Now that's a lot of complicated words. What that means is if you took this piece of property and you could build anything you wanted on it, it could be worth that much money. Now I will point out that if you look at the 5 other appraisals done on the site, nothing came close to that $300 million number. But that assumed the city owned this fee simple, unencumbered, right? We are restricted in what we can build based on a lease that the city entered into with the previous owner 25 years ago. And the city attempted to take this property back from that developer about 5, 6 years ago and lost in court.
When you go out and buy a home, you get an appraisal. And that person who signs that appraisal is liable, and that company is liable for the value that they're providing to you. In this case, the city received an appraisal and the state of Florida ordered independent appraisals, completely independent, signed by professionals, backed up by their companies. And those values came in below the $29 million. So it's interesting that we kind of just discard these professional expert opinions, including the ones by Miami Herald, because they received opinions from outside experts that also agreed with the transaction and considered it reasonable.
We paid for this lease from the previous developer. So we paid significant money. We're in for over $100 million into this property today before paying the city the 29 million. And on top of the 29 million in our negotiations, our commissioner said, I want to care about resiliency and affordable housing. So there's an additional $9 million that will be funded towards specifically affordable housing and resiliency.
Another thing that people ignore is the $300 million in tax revenue and present value tax revenue that we would receive over the life of the lease. So that's a really important number, $300 million, that is usually left out of this equation.